Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
Draft, and we are back into the draft here for this second one. Aurora, Pantheon, Ambessa, Skarner, Ivern, all of these are champions. Callista as well. All 6 champions were also ones that were banned out in the previous game, although all 6 weren't exactly banned in the first half of the draft.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things adapt this time around with FlyQuest playing from the blue side.
And you can see all the fearless bans that they're in the middle, and I really feel like for 100 Thieves, it's time to try to spice it up. You know, you can't go with anything too standard. You want to be able to create some chaos. They need, I think, a lot of forms of engage because that game was too slow. It really needs to be a faster pace. I think if 100 Thieves are going to win, it is Quad, though, being able to grab the Yone here, which is a quit special. And so it is a bit of a takeaway there. And I think it's a really smart pick to be able to have the playmaking on your side and deny those tools from your opponent.
And remember, in the previous game, I said that these were all bans from game number 1, but not exactly first half. When FlyQuest is on red side, they ban Yone first half against 100 Thieves because they don't want to give Quid that same first pick. Now, they'll use it against him. But the response, Poppy immediately going to be locked in for 100 Thieves. This denies so many champions their mobility and their dashes, and then also locking in the Akali, saying, all right, I see your melee carry mid challenge, and I'm ready to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if this is going to be Poppy jungle inspired, going towards the Zyra would make a lot of sense. Of course, we know this could be, you know, Poppy support or something along those lines, but if you are working under the assumption that it is going to be jungle, Poppy is going to get outpaced so heavily by the Zyra, especially an inspired Zyra. This guy knows how to maximize farm. I touched on it briefly at the end of the last game. He had something like 200 farm, you know, at the end of the game on Vi, with 2 levels up in the enemy mid laner. You know, it's just ridiculous. He really knows how to optimize, how to be in the right place at the right time here. And we're just waiting to see what the third pick of the draft is going to be. Would not be surprised to see double physical soul laners to pair alongside that Zyra, but instead we are going to be getting a Sion coming through. So could be a lane swap on the table here. Sion, I think it is the best top laner for lane swap, simply because even if you manage to pull off a dive, it just doesn't even matter. The guy just comes back in zombie form, picks up all the farm, picks up all the experience, teleports right back, and you don't have the tools to get it done again. And you really can be quite effective, even as far as the damage you can put out, you know, as you scale on later into the game. Sion is not to be messed with. So we have to see, where does Sniper go from here? You know, you can go towards the Gnar, but honestly, if you don't get a big advantage on the Gnar early, well, you're probably not getting an advantage at all, because Sion very quickly becomes a brick wall against these types of matchups. So I was going to be interested to see, you know, are we going to get something a little bit more spicy, like a Mordekaiser or something a little bit more out there? With the Gnar, you will get push, but again, Bwipo should always be looking for the swap. Gnar and Mini at level 1 is much easier to abuse, though you do have the Boomerang to try to pick up some CS and get a little bit of experience. You are a lot easier to dive if they want to commit to that. And if you don't get way ahead, you're just not going to get ahead. And if you go into that lane swap situation, you're going to come out so low economy that I don't think he's ever really going to be able to create a big advantage on what Bwipo can do.
And it kind of reminds me of what we were checking in on with the state of the lanes in game number 1, where every time the camera panned up top, yes, Sniper was bullying Bwipo. He was taking control over the lane. He was pushing Bwipo back. He was winning out in trades, but in terms of the gold, in terms of the farm, there was no damage done. Bwipo was able to stay even with Sniper. The only meaningful difference was down in the bot lane, where Masu and Busio were the ones carving out a lead for themselves. So if Sniper wasn't able to get an advantage with the Jace, I'm right there with you. I'm like, I don't know how effective this Gnar is really going to be, but hey, we'll see. The second half of the bans are rolling in now. It is Xayah banned out by 100 Thieves. They don't want to allow that get out of jail free ulti to deal with their dive. They're also going to ban out the Elise, one of those powerful laning supports. Again, talking about Masu and Busio's lane dominance in the previous game. Over on the other side, FlyQuest is going jungle, jungle, jungle. They do not believe that the Poppy is the jungle pick. They are going to double ban towards River, knocking out the Nocturne and the Wukong. And
I mean, the Elise was getting covered, you know, earlier in the draft, but they're going to be able to ban that out. Ezreal would not surprise me. MF would a bit, honestly. You know, when there's this heavy dive to be going in towards the MF would be a bit surprising. So I think the Ezreal is the obvious pick. They ban out the one safe AD carry, you pick the other safe AD carry because they're playing dive. And so now we have to find out, what is that final pick going to be? Of course, there's a 99% chance that it is, Zyra in the jungle. So we're just looking for an engaged support here because they are pretty light on the hard engage. You do have, follow-up in the form of the Yone and the Scion, but you do really need that go button. Though kind of surprising to see 3-12 in the LTA is the Leona's record. That's not doing so hot.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Like, that is, if you're locking in your 3-12 champ in our game, it better be flex queue. Like, I do not want any solo queue action with a 3-12, but maybe Busio has the magic to deal with it. I do like Leona in this composition. You say go button. I look at this champion and think that is one of the best ones in the game. Obviously, with Fearless being in play, you can't pick Rel, which would normally be the priority champ there, I would feel like.
I just feel like FlyQuest crushed this draft. Like, I don't think it's even a little close. I think it is very, very difficult. 100 Thieves have this very kind of scrappy, early mid-gamey type of composition that is really short range and wants to fight. What do they have? None of? Engage. They have no engage. And Zyra is really good as far as the counter engage. Sion is great at being able to absorb that. Ezreal is great at avoiding that. So that is my real concern here. You're depending upon like a Poppy flash stun or, Gnar hitting Mega, then finding an angle. There's not a lot of consistent ways to start those fights that I think they're desperately going to need if they don't just get hard outscaled in this game. Because when I look at top lane, Sion versus Gnar, Sion heavily outscales. When I look at Yone versus Akali, Yone heavily outscales. When I look at Ezreal, versus the Kai'Sa, I really do feel the same way. So I have a lot of concerns for 100 Thieves based on what we just saw last game and then their draft coming into this one. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the kind of game that they need to make this draft work, which is a scrappy, aggressive game. I think FlyQuest is just going to refuse to fight them, scale up, and then we're going to see 1-5v5 where they get crushed and it's going to be game over.
And the thing is, it's not like you're just basing this purely on conjecture. We just saw a game
where that
went down, right? We just saw a game with a very quiet early game with very few kills to speak of, with not a whole lot of jungle ganks paying a lot of dividends. Yeah, we got one gank early that blew a flash, and then later we had 100 Thieves go in to punish the flash while it was still on cooldown, but then they lose that scrap 1-for-2.
Well, the craziest thing to me is that we saw that game, but they had Rel and Sejuani, and they just traded that out for a Poppy and a Xin, right? Like, they don't really have the ways to engage. So, the way this kind of comp functions is you get in your opponent's face, you show up first to objectives, and you snowball the game super, super hard. You try to force them into fighting you. So the early game becomes of the utmost importance. If you do not get very far ahead and have the ability to say, you know what, we're going to get soul and that's going to lose you the game, so you must walk into us and fight us, then you don't really have any agency on when and where you fight. So early game is a must for 100 Thieves. If they fall behind, I think this one is wraps.
It's really, really pressure on for 100 Thieves right now. Remember, this is just, single bracket, one elimination, you're done. You win today, you get to play tomorrow in the best of 5. Whoever wins that, only one team from the LTA gets to go to first stand in Korea in March. That one's going to be a lightning fast tournament as well. Brand new.
I think 7 days straight of games.
Yeah, just super, super fast paced. And you know that everybody wants to be the inaugural representative for this, for
first
the
LTA
region.
Winner.
Yeah, it's huge. But for FlyQuest, they are the ones looking way stronger after that first game. They are definitely looking like they are putting some truth behind that real #1 seed talk. I mean, I said at the beginning of the day when you were still doing the intros down there, I'm certainly in the camp where I still think that FlyQuest is the best team in the LTA.
Yeah.
I think that 100 Thieves definitely surprised everyone by being able to achieve that #1 seeding for this competition.
And these are some kid photos here from Bwipo. His family is here watching. One of his siblings is here, his mom is here, his grandma's here, his aunt is here. They've all, flown out, traveled to be here. And not only does he have the home field advantage with the fans cheering him on, he's got the whole family here backing him up.
I love that,
And
man.
you have to feel like that gives you that little bit extra energy to really lock in and be able to show up on the day. Bwipo has all the motivation he could possibly need.
A little bit of extra mental clarity, a little bit of extra purpose right
Do it
there.
for Mom.
Right there in front of you, right there there in the stands cheering you on as we do have the minions finally colliding, and we'll see how this one goes. Let me go ahead and ask you, because we're putting so much pressure on 100 Thieves to be able to make this game bloody early, because they need to turn this into a wild game of League of Legends, so much of that is going to be on River on this Xin Zhao pick. Where do you want to see him go?
I want to see him go to the objectives, because I think that's the only way you're actually going to be able to force FlyQuest to fight you later on. Fight you before they are ready to, is by stacking dragons. Play around bot side, stack dragons, stack grubs, just try to get at every single objective here.
Oh, Busio with the early roam here
nice
in the mid lane. Meanwhile, top side, blink and you'll miss it. Sniper got a solo kill for first blood.
That is huge. That's the kind of advantage you really want to see him being able to get. And that's Sniper from spring last year. This guy came in the league. First game of his LCS career was against Impact, and he solo killed them. Now taking down Bwipo. That is big. They're able to survive that mid roam here with Busio blowing his flash, but Bwipo just going to TP down towards bot, and the top lane is already under fire here from Masu and Busio, who have gone straight up there. So even with the kill, it's FlyQuest that are kind of first on the move. And we're going to watch this one more time. Sniper down a level, but uses the wall up there, interrupts the Q, or at least doesn't allow him to charge it up very heavily. Got that last minion to get level 3, and then it's just a chase down, lands another stun, boulder toss picked up, locked down, flash to follow, gets the auto, finishes him off. Nicely done there. And Bwipo is the one always kind of laughing when he gets the outplay. Well, he's still laughing when he's the one getting outplayed.
He's just someone who enjoys the game of League of Legends, man. And Sniper is happy about that one. We said if this Gnar doesn't get ahead early, the Scion quickly hits the point of inevitable tankiness. But hey, this is great news for Sniper early on.
It absolutely is. But what is not great news is look at the farm. It's 29-12.
Yeah.
Scion immediately TP'd down to bot and caught a wave as Masu and Busio were moving out towards topside. Sniper did not really have the ability to get down there because the wave was actually crashing out of the tower that Bwipo caught. Yes, there are all these minions pushing in towards him. So as he picks up all this farm, Sniper is going to be able to equalize. He does still have that teleport advantage, but he is down for now a full level and 20 CS. So he's actually down gold even after getting the solo kill. Again, this will equalize because the wave is coming towards him. But that is kind of, the power of the FlyQuest map movements here. And you can see that Bwipo is just going to be going and proxying. He's already playing between the two towers. Call him Basso.
So what you're telling me is the solo death at level 3 was a good death.
It was a good death.
Good death for Bwipo starting things off. The best way to begin the game as a Scion is 0-1, but up in gold over your opponent.
It feels like Sniper got none of that farm. Either the wave was a lot smaller coming in than I thought, or he missed a lot of it under a tower because he is still down. Even after the wave crashed, he's still down 20 CS.
Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, finally going
he's just behind straight up. He's down, over half a level, and the gold is 6 in his favor. It's completely irrelevant, so Bwipo's ahead after getting solo killed. That's just the map movements there. And really, he didn't create that himself. That was more, Masu and Busio getting push, resetting early, going top, the waves coming in as he TP's down. That's a team play that allows Bwipo to get into a really good spot even after, a little bit of an oopsie in the 1v1.
And you can tell Bwipo now at that point where he's like, okay, this is just a farm lane. They both have their call. They're both just going to be stacking up in that department. So, yeah, honestly, it's such a frustrating feeling to feel like, oh, yeah, I should be ahead now. I got that solo kill. But because of the rest of the team, like you're talking about, because of the macro play offsetting the micro play, it's just not amounting to a whole lot of anything. Gold is still even between the teams. Level 6 available for both of our mid laners. Busio going to make a potential entrance towards the mid lane here. Clears out the ward, but Quid and River back away for now. Oh, Bwipo goes for the slam. He charges the Decimate. He wanted to charge it that extra fraction of a second to guarantee the knock-up on Sniper, but that last little bit of time is enough for the small Yordle to get away. Bwipo is taking a lot of damage here from the turret. Sniper almost ready to transform. Quid nearly dies in the mid lane. Busio just barely misses out there with the Zenith Blade. No flash available on the Leona to guarantee the hit on that one, so Quid lives to see another day.
Yeah, Sniper very nearly getting solo killed by Bwipo. If that first Q that he was charging up there, he didn't get sidestepped by Sniper, I think he's dead to rights. Even with that, Sion able to obey it, very tanky, takes a couple tower shots. It doesn't even matter. You can see Soul Furnace already giving him 250 health just for free there. So he is stacking up. He is going to become that brick wall, and he is going to be putting himself in a really good spot. going to be curious to see what the first item is here for Bwipo. He has that early longsword. You know, some people do really love the Overlord's Bloodmail as a late item. Some people even like Titanic Rush as an item. Some people even go Sterix because there is a lot of base AD on this champion, so it'll be interesting to see.
Okay, nice smite steal from River there. He hits the Gromp when it only has about 80 HP left. Inspired early smited it because he wasn't ready for this invade. Meant that the plant was still just whittling away at it. River smiting that high value single target camp means he gets a bunch of EXP. And now the exact opposite situation of what you would expect is occurring. River, level 6, 80% of the way to 7. Inspired, level 5, 80% of the way to 6. Full level lead for the Xin Zhao in the jungle.
Yeah, and that's great. But, you know, as I say, I really want to see them get towards these objectives, start to stack them up. No dragons have been taken just yet this game. But I feel like they need a way to force FlyQuest to come to them before they are ready to fight. And really, dragons is the tool to do that. Nice ulti comes in from Matsu, interrupts the base from Sniper. He has no TP, so now he's lost tempo. That's going to cost him probably a couple extra minions at the very least up on top side, because that's a delay of, you know, 8 to 10 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
So that is pretty big. It means a full plate should go over to Bwipo and minus a couple more CS for Sniper. So these little plays just add up, and they continually are building into a bigger and bigger edge that FlyQuest then uses to really slam home later on in the game.
I always like to say that League of Legends is a game of inches, the small things adding up over time. Unless you're playing some wild solo queue game at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's not going to be the explosive 5-man level 1 play that just destroys the entire game most of the time. It's going to be these small incremental leads like what FlyQuest likes to build. River should be able to secure this first Drake. Doesn't look like there will be any contest from FlyQuest over this one.
I just really like the map movement though. Bwipo gets to play top, pushes that in. You can see quads going for the base. So Bwipo moves from top down to mid. He pushes out mid lane. Quid cannot threaten him at all, by the way. You just don't even hurt the Scion. So now Yone's going up top. He's going to catch that wave right as that crashes from Sniper. This is just the beautiful map movement that you love to see. You know, he loses one melee there off the move, but covers mid, pushes that in. And this is just great stuff here from FlyQuest. This is what you want to see from a top level team in the world, moving around the map, creating advantages without having to rely on getting kills.
I always look at the macro movements of a team as how believable is it that one guy is controlling all 5 characters, right? That's what I really hold the bar at, because then you know there's no selfishness between players. There's no, oh, I want that resource.
My games look like that. It's just a really dumb guy is controlling the characters.
One guy that can barely turn his computer on without help.
Exactly.
He's half drunk. He doesn't know what he's clicking on.
He's never played the game before. But it is one guy.
It is, okay. As long as it's one guy, that means you're on the right page. River did want to steal away that Gromp again with the wind becomes lightning there, but the delay a little bit too long. Inspired securing his Gromp that time. Still a full 1-level lead for River over Inspired. You can see that Bwipo did connect there with the E onto the recalling Ayla. However, because it was just at that last fraction of a second of the recall, Ayla still does manage to make that recall happen. We have 30 seconds until the second set of grub spawns. FlyQuest again with a 2-1 lead in those. Could be able to get themselves up to 5. If they acquire that, they'll also get their first bit of work towards the feet. Different from last game. 100 Thieves does have more progress towards feats overall compared to FlyQuest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, bot lane, remember last time, was really going rough for FBI and Ayla. This time, going great. You know, they have that slight CS advantage. Mid lane, it's a 2-wave advantage right now for Quid. So things are going well for them. You talked about River a number of times, you know, getting those invades. Nar has kind of equalized a little bit as far as things were going there. You know, he's been farming pretty well, pushes up, gets a couple plates. So, you know, things are definitely still in a decent spot for 100 Thieves, but it's just always that concern of scaling in the back of my mind and of 100 Thieves being able to accelerate the game enough. Can they get enough here? River, of course, is up on those grubs and trying to do just that, looking to try to get 4, so they should be able to get the grub spawn here.
Yeah.
And then I just really want to see them, again, in 2:30, be right as it spawns, get down to Dragon, try to take that, and then have that window in a couple minutes after on that 3rd Dragon spawn to threaten a soul point where maybe FlyQuest aren't really wanting to fight. Maybe they're still on 1 item. Maybe they still haven't completed that 2nd. And you can maybe get a scrappy fight where you could either really cement a big advantage, or at least they back off and you get soul point and you have a threat to win the game at soul.
Well, FlyQuest, they are not having as good of an early game as in the previous game. So 100 Thieves, they are up 4 grubs to 2. They're up 1 Drake to nothing. They're up a very modest, meager amount of gold. So I have to ask.
A pittance of gold.
Yes, a pittance, a small peasant's coin purse of gold. Is that enough?
I mean, to me, it's going to be only enough to win the fights early, right? You know, if this game goes to 3 items and everyone just sits on 3 items and then 5v5, I feel like FlyQuest probably win almost every single time. Okay. So I'm less concerned about it now. I'm more concerned about it, in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. So it's going to be about execution because, again, well, the reason I keep harping on objectives is because they're so light on engage. They have no real way to start the fight except just being to the objective and the other team realizing, oh crap, if they get this, they're going to get soul. We have to go there.
Ayla, FBI, and River moving in. They want to steal the blue buff away from Inspired, but Inspired gets it with the plant. Now the counterattack coming out from FlyQuest. A ton of damage onto Ayla, and he's already killed. 100 Thieves have made a critical error, and they will be punished for it all the way to the grave. River wants to turn it around a little bit, but it ain't going to happen. Quinn into the back line, but the back line is his epitaph, man. He's got to get out of there. Bwipo flashes over the wall to follow, hits him with another scream, forces the flash out of the Akali. Decimating smash to try to keep Sniper around at the same time. 100 Thieves thought they were being so damn clever to steal away the blue. They don't even get that, and they pay for it so heavily.
Yeah, Quad makes the roam down from top. Bwipo instant TP arrives very, very quickly. They even get the blue buff for Inspired, and just like that, the wheels start to fall off. We can watch it one more time. Ayla in position, but this gave them the early warning. Look how much earlier Bwipo is TPing. He's already there. FlyQuest already know they're going to be committing to this fight. They get the initial pick onto Ayla. That is great, but as you blast going over, straight into the knock-up there from the ulti on Bwipo, right into the fate is sealed there from Quad. Great combo from the soul laners. Quid arrives, but the TP is so late that the fight is already decided. He's got to use the ult, he's got to use the shuriken flip, he's got to use the flash, everything just to survive and get out. Tough outcome there for the Thieves as Bwipo wanted to show up here in the top lane in time to stop Sniper from taking the tier 1 turret, but he can't quite do it. Now Sniper with that Trinity Force, pretty strong, returning that damage onto Bwipo, but the Scion without his ulti cannot close that last little bit of the gap to catch up to the Gnar there. 100 Thieves now going to claim the feats for themselves with the take of that second Drake. That's 3 neutral objectives. That's first turret up there in the top lane. The extra boots will at least give him a bit more kick. Yeah, absolutely. And it is going to be a lot of damage here up front with the Titanic Hydra. Yes, Scion is a tank, but he rushed Hydra, and he's not stacking tank items just yet. It's just going to be all about the HP. Hydra gives you a lot of burst. If you can get a full channeled Q into, W, E, auto, and then Hydra reset auto, like you can really chunk, if not just straight up kill sometimes, the carries. So it becomes this really kind of explosive play style that I think suits Bwipo very, very well. And it turns Scion, early game into kind of this like pseudo bruiser style where you can get a lot of upfront damage if you're really in the right place at the right time. So it's a very fun style to watch. And of course, you can just have so much wave clear with that Hydra as well, which is going to be fantastic for pro play. You get the push, you move, and you're there first to the fight.
I feel like Hydra items are just so valuable, specifically in coordinated environments, because everybody thinks about the wave clear, but you're exactly right. The extra little bit of burst that you get to add to your combo with the active of any Hydra just feels like it gives you everything that you want in an item. As Sniper versus Bwipo, once again, that 1v1 nicely buffered from Bwipo there, using the Scion ultimate, the unstoppability of that one to make sure he doesn't get knocked back by the Mega Gnar ulti.
Yep, and he knows that if he gets fully chased down, locked into a 100-0 fight, he could get ran down there by Sniper, could be in some danger. So trades out the ulti, very well timed, still maintains that 25 CS advantage. Inspired now has caught up to where River is. This is where you really just start to outpace him as you get more and more items. You just get faster and faster and faster. It gets very difficult, and they have a ton of poke here as well. You can see 100 Thieves still trying to go towards the objective, so they're on the same page as me. They know they need to be going for these objectives each and every time.
Exactly. That's what I love to see from the Thieves. This whole time, these first 16 minutes, you've been talking about how 100 Thieves have got to be there first. They don't have engage, they can't afford to do it second, and they're doing exactly that. Even forcing the flash out of Inspired in the mid lane at the same time. 100 Thieves is not going down without a fight here in the second game.
No, sir, and I think this next dragon is going to be so incredibly important. I do think they kind of need this next dragon to keep that pressure up, because if FlyQuest steal away the dragon, and then you're looking at, a 23-minute, 24-minute spawn on the next dragon to just get to Soul Point, not Soul itself. You're buying so much time for FlyQuest comp to get those 2-3 items that they're really going to need to just absolutely take over. So this next one is so important. If 100 Thieves can take it, I do think they have a real shot, to be able to force at Soul, maybe make something happen, maybe be able to snowball the game at Otacon. But if FlyQuest can set up and really stop them in their tracks, I think it's going to be very tough for 100 Thieves.
A showdown at high noon at the Drake Pit. I like the sound of that as 100 Thieves going after Quad. He's already used the Soul Unbound to snap back to his previous position, and River wants to keep the chase going. He's got Quid right behind him, and he's got the rest of the boys right over the wall. Beautiful pick from 100 Thieves. Bucio and Inspired were hoping that Ayla or FBI would step a little bit closer, maybe overplay their hand a little bit, but the Thieves are happy to take their freebie.
Yeah, that's great. They already had Feat of Warfare, as well, the two other ones for first tower as well as the objectives, so they do have the feats of strength. You have the upgraded boots. Now they get a shutdown there onto FBI. That is very important. Get the gold on this Kaisa. He's really their only true consistent damage in a team fight, so he is very, very important in this situation. And you can see Bwipo, lucky number 7, already 777 health from the Soul Furnace there, is stacking up and has cashed out on his Cull, working towards that second item. It's going to be in pretty quick.
To put it in item context, remember that Giant's belt is 350 HP, so that is 2 free belts worth of extra health already on this Scion.
Gold right there.
3,700 or 3,904. And even updated while I'm talking about it, the guy's nearly 4K in terms of the HP sponge. But he's got to be careful here. A lot of times Scions like to say, all right, we'll just have a good death, go for the turret. But it's 35 seconds on the clock. If he dies here, it could seriously hamper FlyQuest's effort to stop 100 Thieves from securing that Drake like we're talking about. But it looks like Bwipo has resigned to his fate. He knows there's no way to get out of this one, so he'll just take the wave. His respawn timer is going to be dastardly and dangerously close to that dragon spawn as the Rift Herald summoned up in the bottom side river, walking now towards the bottom lane for 100 Thieves. Quad pushing up here on the top side. Quid going in after him. Bucio wants to help out his mid laner. Nicely done there with the Fate sealed, buffering through where Quid is going to be in the smoke, but Quad cannot re-enter into the fight.
Yeah, Quad has a flash out even in the 1v2. Nicely done there by Quid, forcing out those resources. Bwipo had to push though. He cut that wave while Quad was pushing topside, so they have the tempo, and it's just going to be them not choosing to fight. They are going to TP down towards this bottom lane tier 2, but meanwhile, FBI and River are taking the dragon. They're going to be able to get this. They got a tier 1 back on bot side, so FlyQuest said, you know what, with the death on Bwipo, we'll just take the tier 1 top, we'll push in the waves, we'll collect as much gold as possible. We're not going to bet the game here. We're going to buy 5 more minutes, and we're going to wait to try to fight them at Soul. Of course, that has risks of its own, because now one fight goes wrong, you give over that Infernal Soul, and maybe that can make the difference. And this is just Bwipo knowing he's dead, committing to taking down the wave, looking like boss out there, going for the good death, trying to get it down. And we'll see. You can see him in the background kind of laughing.
Always having a good time, man. But 100 Thieves, I've got to applaud them. Because coming into this game, I think we were both worried that this could quickly turn into a turbo stomp if 100 Thieves made a single misstep because of the way that they drafted for the second game. So far, after 20 minutes, almost 21 minutes of gameplay, they are at Soul Point. They are ahead in Grubs. They are like slightly ahead in gold. Still nothing to write a postcard home about, but they've still got a shot to take this game.
Absolutely, they do have a shot. And I gotta say, Unending Despair are gonna be insane this game. I mean, there's essentially 4 melees. In a big team fight, Nar's probably gonna be in Mega, and you just have all of this short range here that is gonna be so difficult because he's just gonna be healing off of everybody. And FlyQuest now have the push here, walking forward, gonna be able to knock down the mid lane tower.
Massive damage from Masu there, just hitting everything like it's point and click onto Ezreal. The Trinity Force plus Muramana combo takes FBI down to 20% HP. Yes, he's got Flash. Yes, he's got Cleanse. Yes, he's got Killer Instinct. No, he has no way, no business staying in that fight any longer. Sniper jumps in for a Mega Gnar there on Inspired, but not really a whole lot of value to be found out of that one. 100 Thieves can at least take the opportunity to try to secure some vision up here in the top side river, but FlyQuest FlyQuest now back in a very small gold lead of their own.
Yeah, just fishing for something. I mean, it's a 40-second cooldown. It's basically going to be ready, you know, by the time he goes Mega again. Hunter Thieves saying, you know what, we got to keep speeding up the pace of the game here. They're on Otacon, and they are trying to rush this down. Bwipo's walking up. He does have his ulti to join, so I think they're going to be here, but are they going to be here in time to fight?
No, it doesn't look like it. This thing's burning down very rapidly. Quid just wasting the time of FlyQuest, but the Otacon is already secured, and you can see Bwipo saying nope. He cuts off the ulti. They don't want to full send any further. They know that once that false life has already been claimed by 100 Thieves, it's massively risky to try to engage in a fight after that. So FlyQuest decide, all right, they got it.
I mean, this is great 400 Thieves, but the question is, how much can you get with it? Because remember, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds is how long it lasts. It will not be there for the soul fight. It will not be there for the Baron spawn. So, you know, this is the nerf version of this, where you're still giving over a fair bit of gold, and it's a long respawn. So it's hard to really force if it's not around an objective. So great, they took it off the map. Great, they got it for themselves. Then they're going to get that little bit of bonus gold when they get kills and so on. But can they really get something significant from it? Because I think FlyQuest are just going to turtle up, stand at their towers, and if you try to dive them, I'm not sure it really even goes beneficially for you.
It's the perfectly unlucky timer expiring just right before both of those buffs would spawn.
And it's just, again, the weakness of this kind of comp where you're really low on engage, because if your opponents don't want to fight you and you don't have Baron to be able to force them, or you don't have an objective to pull them to, they don't really have to fight you, right? They have good wave clear. They have safe wave clear here. You know, Zyra can just even join around one of these towers, sit there with Ezreal, throw down plants, and look to just thin out these waves.
And speaking of the Zyra, Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed. You want to talk about the difficulty of engage, trying to go anywhere near Zyra with plants empowered by the Stranglethorns. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking through these Rylai slowing plants that are dotting you up, and a Scion with Unending Despair, you know, trying to be the brick wall in between you, and you're having to get to an Ezreal, who is already a big ask without any hard engage. But we'll see. They're going for an invade again.
Yeah, 100 Thieves is looking for it. Quad stepping up, knocking half of River's health bar off, but now Quad's got to be careful himself. Massive damage back on a sniper. Inspired uses the ulti for it. Ayla goes in for the Poppy ult, but it doesn't hit anybody. TP ready to arrive from Bwipo, as FlyQuest is still looking to find a counter here on 100 Thieves. They don't want to overcommit onto the false lives again. Sniper jumping right back in, wants the Mega Gnar into the wall, finds it there onto Bwipo, but again, he's so damn tanky. River hits him with the wind, becomes lightning. Bwipo still just keeps walking it off, turns around, flashes away to stay alive. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight over on the other side of the jungle is going to go the way of FlyQuest. 2 kills in their pocket, and Quid might just be the third. Boostio with a shield at Daybreak breaks his jaw, and once again, FlyQuest outplay the fight.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, they know that they have to force. They know they need something, so I think it's the right play to go for this invade, because there's no objectives to fight around, so they go for the blue buff. They start some action, but they go for Bwipo, who is just too damn tanky. The entire Gnar combo was absorbed by his W shield. Everything from it. Yeah. Yes, they almost did knock him down, but at the end of the day, they spend so much time, so much energy going for it, and they lose out on the other side. Dragon's up. This could be the game on this fight. We'll see if 100 Thieves can get it.
So the big thing, Ayla's the only one on 100 Thieves who doesn't have his ult. Nobody else on the squad spent theirs. There's still perfect execution on the Akali, Killer Instinct, Crescent Guard, all of these things. Over on FlyQuest's side, they still don't have Fate sealed up yet. They still don't have the ulti for the Scion. The Fate sealed is the big one that I'm looking at that's going to limit the Yone's efficacy.
Sniper as well has the Mega Gnar bar in a great spot here. We'll see if they can find the fight.
Masu wanting to jump forward, but instead FlyQuest going to try to turn it right back around onto Sniper and Ayla. Instead, FBI flies in here with a Killer Instinct. A lot of damage down to Quad, who's going to try to get away there with the Q3. Flashes back in, looking to take down Sniper, but he ain't going to find it. 100 Thieves making the moves. 2 dead on FlyQuest. Bwipo wants to get one back as Boostio scrapping with Quid over by the Drake. A triple kill for the 100 Thieves mid laner. An ace for 100 Thieves and an Infernal Soul on top.
They're going to be able to grab it. What a fight. So close. The health bar is incredibly low there, but they're able to take it down. And so much came off this initial play. FlyQuest decided to lay a trap for Sniper, and they're betting it on being able to burst him down. But look at Ayla coming in. Immediate stun on the wall, then the wall up. The Mega Gnar stun jumps right in on top of him. Quad decides, you know what, I'm flashing back in, trying to take him down. But Sniper wins out in the 1v1. And on the other side, Quid gets work done, takes out Masu. Masu goes down without using the flash. Quid is making making it happen. Quad is getting locked down and knocked down, and that is the difference in this one. 100 Thieves knew that was a must-win on the fight. They get the soul, and now can they continue to snowball the game? Because they are not guaranteed to win by any means. They have a big advantage. They need to keep pushing the pace, though. They need to keep moving towards the Baron and getting these game-ending objectives, because FlyQuest will scale to infinity.
But FBI 2-0-5, man, on this Kai'Sa. Back in game number 1, before the game even started, you were talking about how 100 Thieves has a multi-threat team now. It's not the previous version of this team that was just like, oh, River and Quid better carry it, better be mid-jungle. FBI on this Kai'Sa with 7 out of 8 kill participation. No deaths yet. 2 items fully completed, working on the 3rd there with the Nashor's Tooth. He can absolutely be the warhead that sends them straight to the Nexus.
Absolutely. I mean, especially you're building in towards AP. You have Infernal Soul. That is the poke. Like, he is really the only poke on their team, but that is going to make him very, very annoying to deal with, especially if he's building in towards things like a Death Cap next. That poke really can start to ramp up here. And you can see Sniper obviously has been on the Black Cleaver for quite a while, so shredding some of that armor for the rest of the squad. And we'll see what 100 Thieves can get done in these next couple minutes. They're getting the waves moving in the right direction, but FlyQuest are going to stay patient. They're going to believe in the scaling that they've drafted for. They're going to believe in their team comp here, and they are not going to rush things. They are not going to feel desperate. They are going to force 100 Thieves to be the ones to start up the Baron, to make that risky move.
All right, there's your immediate Leona ulti onto River, but the FlyQuest follow-up isn't there. The enemy jungler drops down to 1,000 HP, but it's not enough to secure a kill.
Yeah, and I think that was the right call. You know, Busio throws out the ulti, hits him, realizes, you know what? We see Ayla there. We see the other members that are going to be around. This would be an overcommitment to go in on River when he has the Crescent Guard available. You'd probably be getting baited in. He has Sterix. He has Sundered Sky to heal back up. You're not going to knock him down 100-0 from that spot. So, yeah, it costs you the ulti, but they back off. They don't overcommit. And what that does gain them is vision around the Baron. When you look at the minimap now, look at all of these wards covering that area, because FlyQuest knows it's not enough for 100 Thieves to just get soul and then go AFK. They need to keep pushing towards these super objectives. They need towards, move towards the Baron, because they have very little engage, and their siege is really bad because they're so low range. So Baron is basically like a must. You either get Baron or you go for Elder and you ace them. Like, those are kind of the only ways you can really push and actually kill them off.
All right, FlyQuest trying to answer the mid lane tier 1 push from 100 Thieves. Now they will keep that tier 1 turret alive for now. Baron live on the map. Elder still 3 minutes away. 100 Thieves now the ones once again in control over the vision in top side River. There is a lot of damage potential for either team to take the Baron down very quickly if they get the opportunity. Kai'Sa can shred this thing. At the same time, it's Yone plus Zyra. I mean, Baron doesn't even get to blink his eyes and he dies to that.
Exactly. And I really love those deep wards that FlyQuest had gotten. Those were actually so critical, because while 100 Thieves controlled full vision in the pit, these wards over the walls saw River moving back to farm his jungle, saw Ayla actually looking to go back to base.
Oh, Quad in trouble. Sniper's looking to get the solo kill here again. It needs another shot and he finds it. Sniper has now solo killed both FlyQuest solo laners in the same game. Meanwhile, Quid getting the work done in the top side fight at the same time. Solo lanes for 100 Thieves showing up in game 2.
Man, Sniper is really showing up. I think this is his best game of the year so far, and with that kill, with the TP off Bwipo going towards bot side, it's Baron o'clock because neither solo laner can get there. They're going to be able to grab this. Sniper makes the huge play and is going to get them those massive rewards, but Inspired trying to get over here.
Masu wants the kill on Quid and he shuts him down. Nice shot coming out from the Ezreal. Ayla doing a good job using his ulti, the Keeper's Verdict, to keep Inspired away from the Baron, stop any chance of a steal there. Masu gets back a little bit, the smallest thing for FlyQuest, but damn if 100 Thieves is not ready for a fight in this one.
Yeah, that is really good for 100 Thieves being able to grab that Baron. Of course, it does slow down the Baron push because they lost their mid laner, and it was something like, I want to say 868 gold I saw pop up for Masu, so he gets a big injection. He's now done 4 items comes here and is going to be looking really strong on the Ezreal. So we have to see how much can they get done with this Baron. It looks like they're going to be posturing mostly in towards the Elder and trying to play for that.
Okay, Whippo wanted to find the ulti here on River. Decimating Smash hits him for the knockup, but it's only Whippo and Busio here on the front line. There's no firepower behind them just yet. Inspired throws out the grasping roots, but they aren't going to find anybody here just yet. Ayla's going to be the first to die, but FBI has already killed off Quad. Now 100 Thieves are ready to fire in retaliation. Whippo with a decimating strike, but it estimates nothing. Into the back line goes Quid, and into the ground goes Busio. 100 Thieves are taking no prisoners. A double kill for the Akali yet again, and FlyQuest are wiped off the map. Masu's the only one left, stuck farming the mid lane while 100 Thieves hoist their heads as trophies.
Oh man, this is just a massive fight here coming in on the side. Quad just gets erased by FBI, can't even get involved. Sniper comes in, forces a flash, gets Busio into the wall. He gets his flash as well, and then in goes Quid straight into the back line. Eyes on Inspired, knocks him down. Masu is pushed out by FBI. This is exactly what 100 Thieves needed to get done. They play towards the game plan, are going to be able to secure the Elder. They've got Baron, they've got Elder, they've got Soul. They have everything they need to try to clean up this game. This is a draft that could have gone so bad so easily. They would have been criticized so heavily for. They believed in their ability to execute, and they've executed so well in a very tough game against a team that everyone is looking at as the best in the league.
And everybody is executing here. Quid and FBI picking their moments right, dealing absolutely massive damage amounts in every single fight. Sniper solo killing enemy opponents, that was redundant. Solo killing whoever is his opponent in the side lane, whether at the beginning or mid or late stages of the game, while River and Ayla are role-playing very well, constantly providing this interference, making it so everybody else can deal that damage they need to deal. Now 100 Thieves, they're looking to keep this march going straight down mid lane. They've got the Baron, they've got the Elder, they've got carte blanche to do whatever they want to do on Summoner's Rift. They'll knock down the tier 2 in mid lane, and now Sniper pushing on the tier 3 in the bottom side guarantees an easy entry straight through the front door of the FlyQuest base.
Sniper level 18, getting solo kills on both of the soul laners here from FlyQuest in this game. Such a difference maker for the team. They knock down the first and hit. The wave's coming in. They're going for Whippo.
Whippo, he might have a lot of health, but FBI's got a lot of damage. Sniper gets the execute on him. The Leona ulti's not going to get a lot of value here just yet as Quid jumps back with a shuriken flip. Whippo's dead not once, but twice, and 100 Thieves are ready to keep it going. Quid will take his recall. He has no teleport, so 100 Thieves will have to be a little bit careful about this one. Does look like they want to see if they can force down this second inhibitor. A little bit more poke coming in from FBI over the wall. Masu's going to get jumped on now. Fires back onto River, but the Crescent Guard keeps him safe. Quad comes in, looks for a little bit more there onto Sniper, but he doesn't find enough to take him down just yet. River grabbing the execution here on Busio. 100 Thieves still firing off these killer instincts, these massive void spikes coming out from the Kaisa. A little bit more damage onto any target's going to hit him at that execution threshold. FBI is on a rampage. The Elder is ready to go. A beautiful zone used to keep himself alive as Ayla's going to block the shots, but it ain't going to be enough. FlyQuest stay alive as 100 Thieves overstay their welcome.
FlyQuest barely able to stay alive there. They get Ayla, they get FBI. Quid, though, still pushing up top. Sniper going to be heading back to base here. This lead, though, is now massive. 9,000 gold. Plus, of course, they're still going to have that power of the soul. The objective bounties have spawned, but at this point, it just may not be enough. 100 Thieves looking incredible from this spot. Masu getting pushed back, and you can see how much damage is getting put in. Sniper again, Mega's out, finds the stun into the wall. They get the kill onto Busio. They're pushing forward. Masu, though, doing a good job alongside Inspired and Quad, getting damage back, allowing them to stay alive in a very difficult spot. That ulti barely got the tag onto the Xin Zhao. And then again, Masu going aggressive here, steps forward, perfectly timed route out of that Zonia's by Inspired. They knock them both down, and they do hang on for now. But the Baron is going to be spawning once again pretty soon, and FlyQuest will be asked a question they may not have the answer for.
I thought Sniper looked like he was typing something, and I'm pulling up the chat, and he typed Rookie of the Year. Wow. Giving some props to Masu for his play in that fight. Beautiful stuff there. But the game goes on. 100 Thieves with such a massive advantage in the current game state, but they got to get it to the Nexus.
Yep, and we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. Sniper, again, pushing up on that bot side. I've got to give him credit. He has actually had such good timing on the Mega Gnar, on his Gnar bar, really controlling that well. Every time he's joining the fight, it feels like he has the perfect timing on it. Has been a beast in the split push now, on 4 fully completed items, has the upgraded boots as well. You can see most of the members are going for those upgrades now. The full top side from 100 Thieves has upgraded their boots. Inspired, is farming very heavily here. They're trying to keep relevant. Masu is closing in on his final item as well. So FlyQuest still has a chance to make a miracle happen here, but it's getting really, really hard. As just kind of a full court press, the minions are going to be coming in from all sides, and it feels like no one can answer Sniper. Quad is just so far down in the game. I really can't remember Quad being this far down almost ever in a game. Like, he's almost completely out of this. Nearly 4,000 gold is the mid lane lead just for Quid.
Yeah, I feel like I rarely see a Yone unable to impact the fights like this, but for Quad, he's just been suffocated by the burst damage of 100 Thieves in the fight between the Kai'Sa and the Akali. They're just destroying him. Now FlyQuest have to try to find a way to step up here. Inspired's plants are going to be the dummies checking those void shots there from the Kai'Sa, but River and FBI can duo Baron so quickly. This is what I was talking about earlier. Kai'Sa can do this thing so fast. River's going to take a little bit more damage though. Sniper down there in the bottom lane at the same time, going to keep that split push alive like you're talking about. Quick could be in a little bit of danger here. Solar Flare going to force the flash back into the Akali. Not a lot of value there out of Inspired's ultimate on the Zyra. Now he's channeling. He's going to go recall. It's 100 Thieves looking to commit a TP. Maybe they go for the end just like this. FlyQuest, the backs are being stopped. Quid and Sniper in the base, but it's Quad and Whippo against him. They're looking to take these guys down as River has already killed off Inspired. Now Masu and Busio versus the remaining 3 Thieves. The push for the end has failed. Whippo and Quad win the 2v2, but the 3v3 goes the way of the Thieves. It's Inspired for Quid at the end of the day.
Yeah, really well handled there. Whippo instant TPs. As soon as he sees Quid is going, he knows he needs to answer. They're able to tag team and take down Quid. They spot that the Baron is not being taken. They have the man advantage on the map. FlyQuest staying alive here. The scaling really starting to kick in, but it's Elder now on the map here, and it's FBI immediately back onto it. FlyQuest have got to know that this is going to be the target here. Whippo can't spend time to base. He has no TP, so they're just going to go right over.
And it's not like this is Baron. This dragon melts so fast. It's such an easy objective to take with River and FBI both here. Surely 100 Thieves should just be able to force this down. There's no Inspired on the map. The Elder's going to go the way of 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest march to their own doom. Sniper's got Busio slowed down, but he cannot complete the chase. That last Void Missile just barely missing from FBI. The maximum range exceeded by Busio as FlyQuest have to continue trying to disengage. Sniper goes in for the Mega Gnar, but he ain't going to find it. FBI's got the damage anyway. He's now golden, trying to keep himself alive and make the plays. Masu wanted to be the hero, but not today. River gets the kill, and everybody except Inspired is dead on FlyQuest. 2 waves of super minions marching into the base. Inspired stuck outside his own walls. 100 Thieves, 39 minutes into the game. They bounce back in game 2, and they're taking us to a game 3.
What a performance from 100 Thieves after an absolute dominating game 1. 100 Thieves have the confidence to double down. They go on a very low engaged comp that needed to dominate the early game.